What's going on, guys? It is Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we're going to be taking a look at this guy. This is the Houge Knives EX-A05. Yep, that's a mouthful. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everybody. Oh man, all right, today we are going to take a look at this guy. This guy is the Houge EX-A05. This knife was sent to the channel by my good friend Justin over at Tier 1 Gear and EDC Reviews. Definitely go check him out on YouTube and Instagram and leave him a comment to say, hey, you know what? Kyle really does appreciate him as a friend and as a colleague in this YouTube review world. He is just one super cool dude. We do talk all the time, send knives back and forth, and yeah, really good guy. So he sent this along as well as other ones. And this one is a Houge. I have only had just a handful of Houges on the channel. And Houge is a very interesting company to me. Obviously, a American-made company, so that really makes me happy. I don't think I've had any of their automatics on the channel, but I have had the Doug Ritter Houge, which is comparable to the Benchmade Griptilian, and things like that. So I do like most of the designs are not like totally my thing, but I like most of their designs. This one in particular is an auto. They do make this particular design knife in a button lock flipper, which is really cool. And after handling this one, I think that's a great option to have an automatic and a button lock flipper in the same kind of platform. Yeah, because you have the best, of both worlds. If you like autos and you can carry autos, you can get this in an auto, or you can get it in a button lock flipper, which would be definitely a fidget toy. So that's really cool, and I really appreciate them for doing that. This one is really cool. I mean, obviously, look at this thing. It is a very unique design, not your typical design knife that you see a lot. So Houge is kind of stretching out there as far as going out of the box. Of course, this one is an Alishewitz design, as you can see right there with the model number and in CPM 154 with aluminum handles, which is kind of normal for a lot of automatic knives. But this one does have their Damascus or Damascus insert right here, which I think is pretty cool. I love the way Houge does the Damascus. This one is like a black and gray layered G10 Damascus, and it's really cool because it's flush right here with all the milling that's on this handle, but then it comes up and it gets the dimples in it for the grip, and it sits proud of the outside right here. So really cool, very flush right here, comes up to where the grip is, and it is very grippy. Not sharp, but very grippy. So that is just really cool how they did that. Of course, it is on both sides. So yeah, I mean, really well made. It's, it's not a light knife, but it's not heavy. It's about 4.5 ounces, a little less than that. You do have a deep carry pocket clip. Now, because of the way it sits, you still might see a little bit, but as you can see, it's a loop over deep carry pocket clip. And so, yeah, it's going to sit, or it does sit very well in the pocket. It's kind of wide, but if you're used to other knives that are kind of wide, which we'll put some size comparisons and whatnot, I don't think that many people will have a problem with this in their pocket because it does carry quite well. I love all the milling. I love the design of this knife as far as where they put the finger groove and whatnot. I love the harpoon look on the spear point blade. It just looks really nice. I am a fan. However, with my hand size, ergonomically, this knife is a fail for me, and I hate that because I really like this design, but it's a fail. And the reason it's a fail is because of the length of this handle and the shape of it. I'm going to go ahead and show you. So I put my finger here in this, the primary finger choil here on the handle, and then where my big old chunky fingers come, this thing feels so cramped because of the swoop and the shortness of this area that my pinky does not, I can't get my pinky in here. So if I put my fingers where they're supposed to be, my pinky holds or comes off and actually pokes into this. It really doesn't feel comfortable. At least I could definitely hold the knife and cut with it and whatnot. But for any kind of long-term use, this thing is just not comfortable in my hand. The pocket clip back here, like I said, works well. You can see, get really good distance in between how far this thing ramps up. And so it goes in and out of pocket well, but of course it sticks out some. It's rounded, it's not that bad, but because my hand is having to basically, it's a 3-finger knife nearly for me, and then my pinky comes off this way, a knife this size, and it still only be kind of a 3-finger knife for me, even though I can get my pinky around it like that. It's just not for me. I mean, I love the knife design, but it's just not for me. I do not feel like I've got a really good purchase on this thing. And for an 8 1/8 inch long knife, that's just kind of weird to me ergonomically, because you guys know that that's kind of in my wheelhouse. The 8 1/4, actually 8 1/2 inches is about more in my wheelhouse, but it's still not a small knife. Here it is against the PM2. So, but as you can see, the amount of handle space on the PM2 versus this is different. And of course, here it is against the Para 3. And guess what? The Para 3 is better because of the forward finger control, definitely. If I have to come back here, I'm still very cramped. My pinky is kind of hanging off a little bit, but it's not so much as far as the cramp area that I can't not, I still feel somewhat comfortable with this. And then, of course, I have the ability to choke up, which gives me a lot better access and everything on the Para 3. And it's just tons better on the PM2. I mean, it fits my big old hands very, very well. And it does not do that on this Houge model. I was very surprised whenever I got this out of the box and started holding it that it was kind of that uncomfortable for me. If this just was extended a 1/2 inch, a lot of people probably would hate that, but if this was extended about a 1/2 inch, this knife would probably feel like a dream. Even though it doesn't have a forward finger choil, if I had this thing a 1/2 inch back here where my pinky would be able to be in between, this would probably be so comfortable. And I mean, and like I said, it's just, with my pinky hanging off this way on this area, it's doable. It's definitely doable. I could use this knife, but it's not as comfortable. Of course, if I'm back here like this, my thumb lands right here on the little harpoon. I really would rather my hand be able to grab comfortably in this position and my thumb be right there. Oh, because that's awesome right there. I love to be able to put my thumb right here in this little area to be able to get behind the knife and do a lot of precision cutting. So yeah. Now, how is this thing for an automatic? Because I've had quite a few automatics on the channel here lately. And for an automatic knife, this thing is snappy as hell. So there is absolutely no complaints on the snappiness of the automatic. This thing fires out with authority and is really, really nice. I can't complain at all. It fires out like my Protex. Let's just put it that way. So how is it one-handed closing? Because on an automatic knife, I have to have that. So I can push the button and close this knife one-handed. It is not terrible, okay? It can definitely be done, and if you carry this knife on a daily basis, you will so get used to be able to do that. So you can carry this and close it one-handed, which is an absolute wonderful thing as far as being an automatic knife. So boom, gets a check for that. Let's go ahead and put it up against some of the other automatics that I have right now. So here it is against the SNG. So the SNG, ProTech SNG, is very ergonomic for me. You guys know, if you've watched my channel, that the ergonomics for the forward finger choil and the way that my fingers fit this knife are just dreamy. So very, very dreamy. It's not curved and kind of swooped back like this, so my fingers have room to basically be able to be moved wherever I want. I can choke back and still be comfortable. So this knife, It's just not like that at all. So that is, golly, that's the only thing I just don't like about this knife is for my hand size. I mean, I've got larger hands, guys, that this knife fails with that. Let's go ahead and put it up against the other one that I have. Obviously, this is the Whiskers. I love the Whiskers. Definitely the most intuitive and easiest closing automatic knife ever. That is for sure. But as you can see, it is more so on the size of the S&G. It's just the ergonomics are so different that this feels dreamy and this one feels not good to me. So it's, it's one of those things. It's a really good knife. Just, golly, I just can't put my finger on it really because I love it. If it was just a little bit longer. The only other thing that I can complain of in this knife, because fit and finish wise, it is done very, very well. I love the way that they have put this knife together, of course, with an aluminum body. Everything lines up pretty well. You've got a lanyard hole back here. The only thing that I can complain on, and that you've heard me complain on in the past, is a safety on an automatic knife. I don't like safeties. They just I never use them. They get in the way, and I don't like safeties in anything. I don't even like them on my pew-pews. So the fact that this one has a safety would be one more thing that probably would not let me buy this knife. I probably would not want to buy this knife because if I want an automatic, I want an automatic without a safety, kind of like this one, because I don't have to have a safety. I'd rather not have it. However, as far as safeties go on knives, this one's not bad. It is very tactile. See if you can hear this. Yep, so you definitely have to give it force, and you can feel the snap when this thing is engaged. So as you can see, I put it, boom, then you can lock it, and it won't allow you to close it. So it does its job as a safety, and it does it very well. As far as safeties go, that's a winner. Even though I don't like safeties, if I had to have one, it would be like this, because it does it very well. So all in all, really nice knife. I did not, of course, take this thing apart or anything like that because it is not mine. Would like to point out that the only thing, the push button works great, and it has this little pillar jimping, and so does the safety. But kind of look at, see the pivot screw? It's a torque screw, and it's really cool design. Kind of sticks out proud on this side, and then on this side, it's not. And, I kind of would like to take it apart and kind of figure out why that is, because I'm really not sure. And it's probably to do with the design, and it's probably supposed to be that way because this thing is locked up solid and fires out like a rocket. So this is definitely the way it's supposed to be. I'm just not sure why this one is so far proud on this side of the pivot screw versus this side. And it's actually flush with the backside. So that's kind of interesting. But all in all, it's a very nice knife. I couldn't get behind it ergonomically for my hand size, but especially if you have smaller hands, I bet this would be ergonomically wonderful for you if your hands can fit in this area here. Because with my pinky hanging off, it wouldn't. If your hands are small enough to be able to get all four fingers in this area, then it would probably work so well for you. So I suggest people with smaller hands. Now, some other people might not mind it, the way that it comes off here. It's just not for me. I feel like I'm way too far back on the blade to be able to really get control. So it's a great design, but it is one of those that doesn't tickle my fancy as far as the ergonomics. Everything else does. So yeah, this is one of those times where this knife, it was fun to carry still because I love the looks. It cuts really well. It is 8 1/8 inches overall with a 3.5-inch blade. That's always in my wheelhouse. It's got a blade width, a really wide blade width of a 1.375. It's 160 thousandths thick blade stock, which comes down to about 20 thousandths all the way up to like 25 thousandths behind the edge. Really freaking sharp. It cuts well. I mean, all in all, it's a really great knife. I do believe that this is right hand tip up only, but it almost looks like they may offer a left-handed pocket clip for this to go on this side because you couldn't flip this one. So if they do that, that would be great for lefties. I'm not sure if they do, but it looks like that would be something that they would offer because of what this looks like. I'm not sure. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But yeah, an All-American made knife for $220. This is about how much they go for. Automatic, you know, it's nice. It's, you know, it's got good steel, good construction. I really have no problems with it. It's just my hand size and the way that they've done this backside just kind of doesn't do it for me. But if it was just a ½ inch longer, yeah, I believe this thing would be really, really good for me. Maybe they will make a larger one. I don't know. Maybe one day we will see the EX-A06. I don't know how they do their part numbers. But yeah, I mean, when I first saw this and I flipped it out, I was like, yeah, that looks cool. I really would like to get my hands on the button lock flipper version. But now that I've had this in hand and really gotten to know this knife, I just don't think that one would work for me either, obviously, because of the grip. But, you know, I know a lot of people love this knife, and as long as you don't have the massive hands, this thing would probably work amazing for you. So, yep, that's about it, guys. I really appreciate you stopping by. Please hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you want to see more. I've got tons of reviews up on there. If you have anything you're looking at wanting to buy, this year has been crazy. I'm still waiting on the knife to do my top 10 knives. Or not top 10, but my top knives of 2020. Got a lot of packages that are in limbo right now from the USPS Post Office. Oh, you talking about aggravating. But yeah, stay tuned for that as well. And yeah, go tell Tier 1 Gear and ADC Reviews that we really do appreciate him. Go check out his channel and Instagram. Subscribe. Because the guy knows his knives. He's got a good collection, and he has a great channel. So I love you all. Please stay safe in this crazy world that we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.